Their separate investigations finished, all 9 people returned where they'd left one another. The result of all their work was nothing. They were completely sealed in. Their hard work had not gone completely to waste, however. They had learned a number of things as they'd scoured parts of the ship they could reach. It seemed that they were confined to X, A through C. C deck was as far down as they would be able to go, however. The reason being, the D deck was completely submerged. Strangely, however, the ladder had risen no higher than D deck. The flow seemed to have been stopped somehow, as evidenced by the surface of the water on D deck, which was smooth as glass. The prince knelt down and gently drew his hand across it. Perhaps this Zero fellow has used some sort of remote control to seal a watertight door lower down. He said that our time limit was 9 hours. In other words, this water won't rise for 9 hours. You're saying we won't sink till then? Well, that may be a little too optimistic. No point in wishful thinking. There were 3 metal doors on C deck. A single door stood off to the side, with 2 more on the wall facing the central staircase. None of them had numbers or verification devices. They were, however, locked like the other doors. No matter how much they pushed and shoved, the doors refused to move. The mountain and lion threw themselves against them a few times, but to no avail. The door on the back had a keyhole. Just above it was a strange mark in the shape of a circle surrounding a dot. There were 2 other doors on C deck as well, but it was clear they were elevators, as each had a button next to it with an upside-down triangle. They tried pushing the button. No response. Apparently, there was no power running to the elevators. The left of the elevator doors was a card reader. The card reader also had a strange mark on it. Looked like a lowercase h with a dash drawn across the upper stem of the H. Junpei stared at it for a while. This is a symbol of Saturn. It's an astrological symbol. Then, the mark on the other door. I think that was a sun symbol. Yep. They had seen the same symbols on A deck. There's a door on either side of the stairs. The one on the left had a keyhole with a similar symbol engraved on it. This is an Earth symbol. The horizontal line symbolizes the equator, and the vertical one represents the prime meridian. Junpei looked up at the ceiling. There was a great circle cut in it, perhaps for a skylight or glass dome, but it had been filled with gargantuan metal plate. The metal looked very solid. Anything short of an explosive charge was unlikely to damage it. There were several windows along both sides of the ship, or at least there had been. They too were covered with metal plates. In other words, a half-steppin'. Tip someone get going, because my weapon is not a 9 Uzi or a shotgun. We're trapped. All the exits go nowhere. Junpei was not happy. The girl with pink hair spoke up. Well, I'm sure they go somewhere. We just can't open them. Then the mountain spoke. You don't know that. For all we know, they just open the walls or take us in circles. The prince did not agree. No, I'm sure they go somewhere. Otherwise, what point would there be? And we can open them. Well, 2 of them at least. You mean the numbered doors? All eyes turned toward the doors with numbers on them. The atmosphere in the room grew tense. Hey, wait a minute. I think I said this earlier, but I don't think we should do that. The dancer moved in front of the doors as if to block them. We'd have to be crazy to open these doors. If we do that, we're doing exactly what Zero wants us to do. Suddenly, everyone began to speak at once. I agree. I don't. That's a terrible idea. You should keep going. You should stay here. We don't have any other... We can wait. Someone's bound to come find us. We don't have time for that. In 8.5 hours, this ship is going to sink. The clamor of voices made it next to impossible to determine who was saying what. The arguments grew more and more intense until people were shouting and screaming at one another. Junpei had remained silent, but alas he could take no more. Hey! Shut up! They fell silent, and all eyes turned to Junpei. He felt each stare burning into him, but he refused to flinch. Before we try and decide where we're going to go, there's something else we ought to do. What's that? We need to exchange information. We don't know anything about each other. I want to know who you guys are. Who you are, where you came from, why you ended up here. Don't tell me you aren't curious too. They were silent. Some of them looked the other way, or bit their lip, or crossed their arms and stared at the ceiling. One of them spoke up. It was Akane. I agree. I think Jumpy is right. Jumpy? Oh, I'm sorry. Talking about him. I just call him Jumpy. His name is Junpei. She pointed toward Junpei. We're childhood friends. We went to the same elementary school. Wait, stop. Don't tell us stuff we didn't ask you about. Zeo's probably watching us right now. What are you gonna do if he's listening in? Would that be bad? Hell yeah, it would. You don't know how much that bastard knows about us. Maybe he just picked a bunch of random people to kidnap. If that is the case, then it'd be dangerous for us to let him know too much. If Zero knows who we are, he could go after our families. Maybe he'd tell us he had him to get us to do stuff, you know? But we still need to know what our names are. It's going to be hard to talk to each other if we don't have names. Alright then, why don't we have code names? To him, apparently, seemed like the obvious solution. Code name? Yeah, we'll each pick something. Like, I'll be 7. 7? Why are you 7? Seemed a fair question. I'm guessing it's because he has a 7 on his wrist. The mountain stuck out his left arm. Yep, because his bracelet number says 7. Oh, I get it. Yeah, it's a good idea. He smirked. Alright, I'm gonna be Santa. Any of you chumps know Japanese? No? Well, sign means 3, so I'll be Santa. You know, like Santa Claus. Fits, don't you think? No, it doesn't. Then your bracelet number. Yeah, it's got a 3 on it. Good job, Grandpa. Just like the mountain had done, Silver thrust out his left hand. Sure enough, the base of the bracelet read 3. Very well then, I'll go next, shall I? My bracelet number is 1. Given that, I think Ace seems appropriate. I'll be Lotus then, as I'm sure you all know. It has 8 petals. Does it also have downward pointing nipples? Which of course, that may... bracelet is 8. Hooray. I would appreciate it if you would call me Snake. Snake Eyes. Or Human Eyes. Or Badger Eyes. Or Deer Eyes. Since Ace has chosen cards, then I choose dice. Snake Eyes, clearly. Which is particularly relevant, given that I am blind. Aw. Blind? Really? He kept his eyes closed during the entire ordeal, which had suggested something strange, but to hear it said so casually, it was something of a surprise. Everyone seemed a little nervous at the prince's proclamation, but no one seemed to know how to react to it. There was one person, however, who didn't seem to be surprised in the least. The girl with pink hair. I want to be Clover. You know, 4-leaf clover. Good luck, right? Looking almost bored, she held out her left hand. The face of her bracelet showed the number 4. Then coming around to Junpei, he held out his bracelet. Alright, my number's 5, so my code name is gonna be... Well, I have one. It's not like there's any point to it now. The dancer cut him off mid-sentence. I mean, we all know your name already. You're Junpei. Oh. They all nodded. I kinda stepped forward nervously. Then you should all call me by my name too. Because, I mean, this way it gives us 2 character while relegating you all to a side status because you don't mean anything. It doesn't seem fair to Jumpy. You thinking it's not cool for you to hide your name after you told us his? Akane fidgeted awkwardly. Junpei decided he had to do something. What's your bracelet number? It's 6. She hesitated for a moment, then held out her left hand. As she explained, bracelet's face showed a 6. Junpei looked at it for a moment and thought, alright then, why don't we call you June? June? Yeah, you know, it's the 6th month of the year. So you're June. Jumpy? Akane kneaded her hands and looked up at Junpei, uncertain. He smiled back at her, reassuringly. Are you good with that? She thought about it for a few more minutes, and seemed to come to a decision and gave Junpei a small nod. And what about the nerd? Their names decided, Junpei ran over them quickly in his head. 1 was Ace. 2 was Snake. 3 was Santa. 4 was Clover. 5 was Junpei's number. Akane was 6, and Junpei had given her the codename of June. 7 was 7. And 8 was Lotus. That meant 8 of them, including Junpei, had revealed their bracelet numbers. But there was still one person left. He was a man with glasses and hair like a bird's nest. He hadn't said anything since they met on the stairs, and he didn't look like the sort of person who was inclined to conversation. His skin was pale, his breathing was heavy, and he soaked with nervous sweat. His behavior seemed very suspicious, or perhaps simply emotionally unstable. It was difficult to tell. Whatever the case, it seemed clear that he had only fingertips worth of grip on his sanity. The girl with pink hair, Clover, walked up to him, slowly. She put her hands on her hips and eyed him suspiciously. "What number are you?" He didn't answer. His bloodshot eyes switched from person to person, and his breath came in hot pants. "Really? Was it wearing like tiny shorts or something? Hey, I'm talking to you." The man licked his dry lips with shaking tongue and spoke with a voice like old paper. Isn't it obvious? There are 9 people here. And you know who numbers 1 through 8 are. The only one left. So you're 9? Yeah. He extended a trembling arm. The bracelet did indeed say 9. Clover looked at it contemptuously. "What's your code name?" Code name? What did you want us to call you? We all made up names, you should too. I don't need one. Why not? Because I'm not going to stay here with you. He took a shuddering breath and exhaled. Clover looked at him with something very like disgust. "You got some sort of plan?" "I do." "Yeah? What's that?" You sure you want to know?" "Yeah." Alright, let me show you. I'm going to do this. Aye! By the time they realized what he was doing, it was too late to stop him. The man's body moved like a snake's. In the blink of an eye, he had slid around behind her and wrapped his arm around her waist. "Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing?" Silver, Santa leapt forward toward Clover and the 9th man. He was halfway there when... "Stay back!" Suddenly, the man's hand dove into his pocket. "Whoa, what the fuck?" He came back out with a knife. A pocket knife. He held it to Clover's pale, quivering neck. "If you get any closer, I'll cut her open." Santa skidded to a halt. He snarled at the scrawny man with the knife and gritted his teeth. "Yes, that's right." The man's smile was neither friendly nor reassuring. Sweat poured down his neck, soaking the collar of his shirt. "Clover, are you all right?" The prince, Snake's voice, sounded oddly concerned. "Yeah, I'm fine." Her voice shook, making her words even less convincing. "What the hell are you trying to do?" "I told you. This is my plan." "What are you going to do to her, you sick son of a bitch?" "Don't worry. I'm not going to do anything to her. She just does what I tell her to. I'll let her go." He started to move backwards slowly, keeping his grip on Clover. Keeping their distance, Junpei and the others followed. Eventually, the man reached the wall. He gave a start as his back touched it, then glanced around quickly and spoke. "Verify." "Huh?" "The left. Look under your left. Do you see the device on the wall?" "Place your hand in the scanner panel, the round part." "What if I don't?" The man's nostrils flared, and he looked like he was about to choke. Are you an idiot? What do you think? I could slit your throat right now. I'll kill you if I have to. All I need is your bracelet. Just do it. Do it now." He pressed the knife against Clover's neck, hard. Slowly, she stretched her left hand out toward the device. Her back was to it, and she had to feel around for a moment before she found the circular panel. It made a cold electronic noise, and on the display above her hand, an asterisk appeared. So that's how it works, Junpei thought to himself. By placing one's palm on what the 9th man had called the scanner panel, the user's bracelet number would be entered into the device. Blah blah blah, I get it. Junpei shifted his eyes to the door itself. The number on it was 5. The 9th man seemed to know a little more about the device's operation than he should. How had he known exactly what to do? I figured it out. It's not that hard. Good, good. You're done. Next. His bloodshot eyes crept from person to person until finally they stopped on the lion. Ace. You, right? You're the one with the number 1 bracelet, right? Yes, I am. So? Then you're next. Just verify your number like this little rat did. What are you doing? Do it. Don't you care what happens to her? Oh, okay. Just calm down. Ace held up his hands, palms out. The 9th man jerked his chin toward the device. Slowly, cautiously, Ace moved toward the device. After what seemed like an agonizing eternity, he reached it. Now, verify. Ace nodded and placed his hand on the scanner panel. The device booped again, and a second asterisk appeared. Now the device had Clover and Ace's numbers, 4 and 1. 4 and 1 equals 5. Same as the number written on the door. But it wouldn't open just yet. Only 3 to 5 people can pass through a number door. The door needed at least one more person. Who would that be? You get back. His voice shook, but the knife he held to Clover's throat made his words a command. Ace took 2, then 3 steps back. No, farther. More than that. Go all the way back. Slowly, Ace did what he was told. The 9th man's lips curled into a cruel, twisted smile. That's when Junpei understood his plan. Clover's 4 and Ace's 1. Added to the 9th man's 9. 4 plus 1. Yeah, I get it. In other words, yeah, half-stepping. Tiptoeing. Get going. Heh heh. Thank God you're all so cooperative. Now we can get out of this. This is a nightmare. He pressed his own hand against the scanner panel. A third asterisk appeared on the screen. He dropped his hand to the lever on the side of the device and pulled. Yep. The door opened with a heavy metallic groan. He let go of Clover. Wait! Junpei leapt toward the 9th man, but he wasn't fast enough. The man shoved Clover. Ah! And hopped through the door. Okay, have a good one, guys. I'm going off ahead now. Well then, goodbye. He raised his hand and waved, a twisted smirk on his face. Then he was gone. What a shit. The door ground shut with a dull clang of metal on metal. Yeah. Yep. Okay, gonna have to stop there. This recording's getting pretty long, so see you guys next time.